What's up guys, Josh with RMP doing an install tonight. We're hooking up an EchoMap Ultra 126SV with a Garmin LiveScope on an Ultrex trolling motor. Stay tuned, I'm going to run you through the whole thing. One of the big things that'll help you with your installs is making sure you run a dedicated power wire to your unit. We're going to start at the back at the battery box. We're going to run this 16 gauge shielded wire all the way from the battery to the front of the boat where we're going to hook these things up on the bow. In this case, we're actually running two. We're going to run one for the black box for the LiveScope. We're going to run one for the power to the head unit itself, the EchoMap Ultra. We're going to get this knocked out with some heat shrink, some wire connectors, and a pair of pliers with crimpers. All right guys, like I talked about earlier, we're going to run a dedicated power wire for both the EchoMap unit and the LV32 black box. So we're going to start by running the fish tape and getting it up to the front. We're getting ready to wire this thing up. We've got the wires pulled all the way to the front just like we need. So the first thing we're going to do, we actually take, this is the power wire for the EchoMap Ultra. We've cut the factory fuse off of that front. As long as it's in line somewhere between the hot leg from the battery to the unit, you're good. We like to have them all easily accessible. So we take it off the power line that's going to be at the unit and we add it to the battery cable at the back. This is the Garmin factory 8 amp fuse that's in here. So we're going to use some waterproof butt connections, attach it to our hot leg, and then we'll use some terminal connectors to get hooked up to the battery. So first of all, if you can't hear it on top of us, it's a monsoon in South Central Kansas. Has been for a couple weeks, getting especially bad tonight, so sorry about the rain. Second thing, so we've got our wires stripped down. Like I said, we're putting that inline fuse. We moved it from the front to the back here on the battery, and I've got my terminals on each side ready to heat shrink. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys on these. Again, we use the waterproof connectors. So we take our heat gun and shrink these guys down. All right, there you go guys. We've got it shrink all the way down on the wire to make sure this is a completely waterproof connection. That's how you want it. I'm gonna go ahead and do the other two and then we'll move on. So we've got our power wires ran as you saw before. We've got them back here hooked up to the power cable for the unit. Again, with the waterproof butt connections. So on the power cord that goes to the unit, you're gonna see 4 wires. You've got red, black, and then blue and brown. On these, let me hold them up here where you can see them. Can you see that there, Morgan? All right. These guys are for NEMA 0183. We're not going to use these for our rights and purposes. You guys probably aren't either. If you have any questions, you can always shoot us an email or leave a comment and we can see what we can do on it there. We're going to go and route this up and get ready to put the unit on the trusty old RAM mount. All right guys, so now we're moving on to the transducer installation. We're going to go and throw the GT54 UHD transducer that comes to the EchoMap Ultra series on the bottom of the Ultrex. So it comes with mounting brackets for that, which is really cool. It comes with the standard plastic bracket. It's going to clip on to the bottom of the transducer. Let me see if I can do this without too much jostling around. Can you see it on the camera, Aaron Morgan? All right. And then it's going to attach with some stainless hardware. It's some small machine screws with star washers on them. I'm going to go ahead and get that buttoned up before we move on. It's going to attach to the the trolling motor head with a stainless steel hose clamp as well. While we're up here, guys, I want to talk about the quick release cradle a little bit. This thing is going to be a little tough to see on the gimbal bracket, so we wanted to show you now. You'll see your hookups for your transducers, power cables, all that good stuff. We went over this a little bit in the unboxing video for the EchoMap Ultra 126SV. We'll actually put a description of that video up here in the corner. Follow that and you can kind of go over some of the details a little bit. When we put this in the gimbal bracket, it will stay. The wires will hook up to it. It will not have to come in and out when you want to remove your unit. The head unit itself will actually lock into this, and we'll show you that when we get there. But again, I just wanted to show you this a little bit before it gets into the gimbal bracket so it's easier to see. All right, moving on. Let's get this thing on the trolling motor. All right, guys, so we're mounting the GT54 UHD to the bottom of a Ultrex with the built-in US2 transducer. So you want to orientate it with the round end going towards the nose. That's forwards. Keep that in mind. It's going to attach with the stainless steel clamp. Run this through the center port and loop it back around towards the top. I know this is behind here, guys. Basically, I'm centering this up on the top of the head. The clamp is directly behind this trolling motor shaft. I mean, like really tight up to it. I'm gonna use this for a couple things. It's gonna sturdy it up a little bit for me and keep it from sliding at least forward, so giving it a little bit of stability. Just go ahead and squeeze this thing all down, and we can move on to routing the cable. And that's on reverse. Super. All right. All right, guys, so we got the transducer attached to the bottom of the Ultrex with the included mount. And we went ahead and zip tied the cable nicely up the shaft here. This is something that's really important. We've got a loop of slack in this. If you don't do this, when your trolling motor turns, it's gonna snag that thing and be no bueno. So always make sure you keep a loop of slack in here. Then you go back and start zip tying again to the cables running to the trolling motor pedal. So we've got this all ready to go. We're ready to power this guy up and show you that quick release cradle. So we've got everything wired up. Just have to hook up the power at the back. We want to go ahead and knock this thing out first. So the quick release cradle, like we talked about earlier, pretty slick design. It's going to go in your gimbal bracket. Your wires are attached to the back. It's going to be easy to remove and install your head unit without messing around with unscrewing all the cables and all that stuff. It does have, floating around back here somewhere, and we've got another camera over here that we'll be able to show you. It's got a set of rubber caps that set over the connections on the front of it to keep everything sealed up. So you want to make sure you have those on when it's not in use, and they just pop off and we can set the unit in. So you want to make sure the back part is loose. We're going to sling it from the front, make sure it drops in, make sure it's captured, and then just push it down. And it should lock in nice and tight. Hear that click, and that's it. Pretty straightforward. I think it's a good design feature the guys at Garmin did. Pretty slick. So let's move to the back and hook up some power and get this thing going. Okay, guys, so we're back at the battery compartment. I'm gonna hook this guy up. Remember, we put the inline fuse on the power side. It's really important you do that. Can't overstate that. And make sure you guys do that, and make sure you use those waterproof connections. I'm gonna go ahead and hook the battery up, and we can look at powering this guy up. When you're in, just ensure that you're good on the terminals. Oh. All right. I'm in there. Give them a little crank, don't have to go nuts on them. And there we go, power's hooked up. Guys, here we are, back at the bow of the boat. Time to pop off the sun cover and see if this guy powers up. There we go. Hey, what do you know, we're live. Well, there it is, guys. That's how our install video on the Garmin EchoMap Ultra 126SV and the GT54 UHD transducer. Make sure you check us out at russellmarineproducts.com. We're going to have some links in the description below to the EchoMap Ultra series itself and Garmin products in general, as well as the main website. If you have any questions, make sure you let us know at sales@russellmarineproducts.com or give us a shout, 316-313-4113. We'll see you guys next time.